Hello? Oh. Okay, making my face look weird. Guess who has a live 2D model now because I make bad financial decisions. I was wondering if I should like do like the whole thing where like, oh, you start off screen and then you like, you know, pull it up like people do. But I like just barely got this thing working and it hasn't even been like, you know, adjusted to my face. Like, I don't know if you can tell, like the eyes are very squinty because for some reason it thinks that I'm always closing my eyes. So I need to work on fixing that at some point. But yeah, I have a live 2D model now. So today I'm just going to be doing some co-working. We got the timer set up on the top. We're going to do 25 minutes of working and then take 5-minute breaks. Probably go for just like a couple hours. And so that's the plan for today. So anyone here, feel free to work on whatever you need to work on or just relax and listen to the, you know, nice jazz music. Let's get started. There's the alpha. Oh, new model. So, oh gosh, I forgot to fix the thing. Yeah, sorry. The chat should be. It should be lighter since it's on a dark background. Yeah, I got this live 2D model. It's a like custom one, so it comes with like a bunch of different options that you can like switch around. So I was messing around with that this weekend. There's still some things that I need to fix though, because it really wants to think that I'm like closing my eyes when I'm not. Yeah. Right now I'm just working on some research. Feel free to like work on whatever you want to work on or just hang out. Yeah, exactly. No, thanks for the look. So enjoy. I plan on going FTL by 2026. I mean, so that you're getting closer than I think you'd realize. Oh. All right. I think it's time for the break. I think I might have accidentally messed it up by closing out of the timer app. I'm trying to fix the model in VTube Studio so that it doesn't keep doing that, because that will bother me. So that's why Cal's not on screen right now. Also, it seems to be misreading my inputs when I try to like hotkey stuff. Let me just try something. Okay. It's mislabeling it, but it seems like it's okay, so. Okay, and oh my gosh, I went out of the timer thing again. I forgot I have to leave that up. Okay, I think that should be good. Yeah, okay, and so now if I hit the thing for short, yeah, okay. I don't start waving randomly now. Yeah, I do. What did I just do? What was that? What happened? Oh, that's weird. I do not know why that happened. I'm still figuring all of this out, so oh well. Is that still squished? Because I can. Hey, you should all get on my new diet. You can see how much weight I've lost with it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't even know that was something that I could do in OBS. Okay, I'm trying to find like, I don't, oh gosh, because just looking at it, I can't tell what exactly the right. Oh, I couldn't tell what the right exact like width, like the aspect ratio is. So hopefully this isn't too distorted. I think it looks okay. All right. But yeah, I think I fixed it, so I can still like wave and stuff. Well. Can I? Or do I have to like literally be in the thing? Okay. Cool. I can wave it now and not have it be like the same button that I'm using for something else, which I guess is nice. Ugh, I find that really annoying that like the clock goes away if I ever like cover up that window with something, so I have to just leave one of my monitors on the timer for the entire thing, and it's so like I have a like color change thing over this in OBS. The original color of the timer when it's during like the, long study session is red. And that's just stresses me out because I just have like a giant red screen for one of my screens. Okay. So we got another half a minute and then it'll be back to work. But yeah, I think I do still have Cal a little distorted. What did I do? Is it a filter on here now? Like the stretch? That's gonna need to be good enough, I guess. All right, time to start the next work session. Sorry for coughing into the microphone. I forgot that I didn't mute myself. Sorry about the dog. Someone's outside my apartment, so he's getting barky. Shh, it's okay. They're allowed to be there. All right, looks like that's the time for a break. I am making some decent progress in my work. So the thing is, like, Mathematica does not like simplifying expressions if they get too complicated, and it really doesn't like simplifying things that have like square roots in them. So I'm having to kind of do it by hand, and then like I keep saying like I need to stop. I keep having to do the simplifications by hand, and then refining the calculations that Mathematica needs to do to like say like, oh, these numbers have to be real, and then Mathematica can do it, but it still takes a long time. I really need to get better about not using filler words. It's pretty bad. I was about to do it again. I was just about to say like. I was about to start that next sentence with like. One of my friends, like, oh my gosh, one of my friends counted how many times I said like during my candidacy seminar, and it was like, and it was near 50 times, which is far too many times to be saying like. I noticed going back and watching one of my VODs that I said like so many times. It was every other sentence. And so I'm trying to be very careful with my words right now so that I don't say it again, because it's going to drive me insane. Ooh. But it's something that I've done like just, oh my god. It is something that I've done my entire life. So it is difficult to stop doing it. I need to be more deliberative with my words. This is painful. Trying to think through the sentences before they say them. This is not a way that I'm used to interacting with the world. Usually it's just kind of right off the cuff. I'll say, I think if I said like there, like I'll say blah blah blah, because I'm giving an example. Is that the proper use of like? I have no clue. I should just avoid saying it altogether, even when it is correct, because there's no way that I'm going to be able to tell. Especially not in the moment. For some reason, Mathematica is really not wanting to combine these two fractions even though they have the same denominator. I've been like, I have been evaluating it with the two fractions separate, and it gives the correct output, which it should be 0. And then I do it trying to combine the fractions so that I can simplify everything down to the simplest form so that I can put it in the paper. And it keeps saying, no, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. But I know it is. Like, how could it not be? It's being very frustrating, especially since I have to do this, what I'm doing right now, and I've been doing the whole time. I have to do it 4 more times in even more complicated expressions. So, yay! We'll see how that goes. 5 minutes is a long time, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not used to taking breaks while I work. So even when I'm watching other people do the co-working streams where they're like, oh, time for a 5-minute break, I usually just keep working straight through it, which probably isn't good, but I know myself, I need to keep going. Yeah. Gosh, I'm looking down at the other expressions that I have to do this for, and I am dreading it. Hopefully it simplifies down nice, like the one that I'm doing now. That was definitely the correct use of like. That wasn't just a filler. I need to get a device that will shock me every time I say like. I think that's the only way that's going to fix this. Okay, time to get started with the next session. Oh, thank you for the raid. How's it going? Uh-oh, I didn't do the right shout-out thing. Streamer bot, how could you? Okay. Let me see, is it / shoutout? Yeah. Thank you for the raid. I'm going to be doing some studying at the moment. I am currently working on a Mathematica document that is being very awful to me. How's the rest of your stream? Loving that you decided to go. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I spent like a large chunk of my weekend doing all the customization for the new cow. I did have it set so that it was like doing this. Here, I can pull it up. I'm gonna pause the study timer real quick. So because I had the like hotkeys set to be the same things that I have in Mathematica, it was doing this every time I wanted to put a square root in the into my document. It was like waving every time it did it. You died a lot? Oh no. It definitely seems like a game where that would happen. Yeah, I think I was talking about this during the last metaphor stream. Maybe it would even off the document work. Hopefully. It's being a pain right now because it doesn't want to recognize that two fractions can be added together when they have the same denominator. I have a work computer, so thankfully I don't have to worry about that. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm doing all of this on the same computer. Yeah. So like, I mean, I can say this. I have a factor in these two fractions. Like, So this is inside a radical. I'm trying to add two expressions that are both divided by the mass of the particle squared. And for some reason, it doesn't want me to combine those two fractions. Yeah, personal and business on one PC is how it can get challenging, especially like just storage wise. So I have all of my research and all the Mathematica notebooks on here too. And then also all my video games. I probably need to think of a better way of doing this, like maybe saving some things on like the cloud. My university gives me cloud storage, so I should probably be saving a lot of stuff on that. I also have not like customized this like model to my face, and so it keeps like wanting to say that I'm squinting when I'm not. Like maybe if I take my glasses off and like, but now I can't see anything, and it always wants to think that I'm like, you know, about to close my eyes. I just realized I have to do something real quick, but after I'm going to come back over and work on some reading. Nice. Are you tracking through your webcam or your phone? I'm doing it through my phone right now. I was also having some issues with that because apparently you have to be using a 5 gigahertz channel if you're connecting wirelessly from your phone to your computer. And I did not know that originally, so I was not doing that. Did you change the eye open param in VTube Studio? I tried messing with some of that right before stream, but it honestly seemed like that was going to be something where I needed to take like, you know, an hour or so to actually sit down and go through it. Does it work with eye facial mocap? I don't know what that is. So maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. I'll need to look into that because I haven't heard of eye facial mocap, but I do really like the model, and it has a very similar tattoo. It's on the wrong side, but oh well, that's fine. I can just say that the tattoo switches sides occasionally. It's also paid, but it's what Coma had me get an improved face tracking accuracy. Okay. It's in the same vein as VBridger. Okay, I have heard of VBridger. I'll need to definitely look into that because yeah, especially with my glasses on, it really doesn't want to like say that I'm opening my eyes. And maybe I could just solve that by wearing contacts. It connects to VBridger. Okay. Yeah, I'll figure all of this out more as I go along. I literally got this a couple days ago. Thankfully, it goes through glasses. Eye facial mocap. Okay. Yeah, that'll be nice because I really do hate wearing my contacts. It is not fun. Like, I've been wearing contacts since like 2nd grade, but I just don't like them as much as glasses. They're definitely more convenient if you're doing something like outdoors, but yeah, just day to day, glasses are so much more convenient. You've never worn contacts? I'm probably being too harsh on them. They are, you know, very useful. It was great for when I was like playing sports in like high school and stuff. I was ranting about this earlier. I say like way too much. I keep using filler words. I need to stop doing that. I can't imagine contacts. They seem like absolute hell. They can be, especially if you have bad allergies. Karate let you keep your glasses on? What if you were getting like punched in the face? So I never did. I did a little karate when I was like in preschool or something, but I did box for a bit. And I always wore contacts when I boxed, and I wore contacts playing football and soccer as well. Just because I did like break glasses when I was much younger playing soccer. I took a lot of I took a lot of soccer balls to the face. Kicked. Oh, kicked. Ooh. Getting kicked is so much worse than getting punched, in my opinion. I've so along with boxing, I also took some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes, which was very fun, but I am not good at fighting. Yeah, the concussion from a kick is way worse than a punch. Yeah. And as someone that's had quite a few concussions, I can say there are definitely some that are worse. Yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but yeah, I've had a lot of brain injuries. Growing up, so there were two like really severe concussions that I got both from playing football, and I believe I had another one when I was younger that didn't get diagnosed because it wasn't super severe. But that was back when I like swam. I also I did swimming up until like middle school, I think. I one time dove in, my goggles came off, and because I was wearing contacts at the time, water absorbed into the contacts and it blurred my vision, so I couldn't see where the wall was, and I swam into it. And I remember coming out of the water like nose bleeding and like really confused. Oh my, yeah. It was a fun time. It was in elementary school, so I honestly don't remember anything than shaking it off and wanting to continue sparring, but they wanted to discipline the kid. Glad I didn't drown. Me too. I don't think I would have drowned. I'm a pretty strong swimmer. Actually, I think one year, but when I was really young, not like old enough for it to matter, but when I was really young, I think I actually came second in the state in butterfly in my age group. I think though that was back when I was like 8 or something, where like, you know, it wasn't the widest range of competition. I hated butterfly. I liked it. That was my best. I liked it because everyone else sucked at it, kind of. You know, it's always nice being okay at something that everyone else is bad at. Maybe that's why I like math so much, is because everyone else hates it and I can tolerate it. Breaststroke was your bread and butter? Yeah, that's a good one. You can't swim? Oh, because of the skin stuff, probably, right? I'm sorry. That's awful. I really love swimming. But yeah, my other two concussions were from football. So if any of y'all ever have kids, don't let them play football. That too, but I've never learned. Yeah, I learned pretty young how to swim. I mean, because I was doing competitive swimming by the time I was 8. I barely swim at all nowadays. I miss it. Yeah, me too. I have not really done it since I got into grad school, really. I've just been too busy to engage in anything like that. I wanted to get back into like playing like soccer with people around here too, but never ended up happening. Gotta throw yourself in the deep end? Yeah, that's the best way. A friend did finally teach me how to float the other day. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, floating is most of swimming. If you can float, you're like 80% of the way there. The rest of it is just moving your arms and legs in the right way to get from point A to point B. Like 90. Yeah, exactly. That's most of it. I think one of the big things that I had to learn when I was little is that your body naturally is going to float. I was so scared of drowning when I was first learning how to swim when I was like, 4 or 5. And I had a swim instructor like actually put something, he said, okay, I'm gonna put like this pool toy underneath my foot and I want you to like swim down and grab it. And I remember trying for so long to try to get it, but I kept floating back up to the top and I was like, I can't do it. I keep floating back up to the top. And he's like, exactly, you're not going to sink. And that's when it kind of clicked for me that, oh, bodies just naturally want to be above the water. Especially if you're not super muscular, your body is going to want to, yeah, your body type also affects. Yeah, because so it has to do with your average density, and unfortunately, most everything in your body, fortunately, most everything in your body is less dense than water. So fat and I think connective tissue is also less dense than water, but muscle in particular is denser than water. So if you have a really low like BMI and you're fairly athletic person, you might not float as well. Except Marie, she sinks like a rock. Oh yeah, you're tiny too, so probably not too much BMI. I mean, if your skin and bones can float fairly easily, if you extend your surface area to compensate. Yeah, because you can also... buoyancy isn't the only effect at play. There's also surface tension. So if you spread out your body and stuff, that can help. But yeah, it's I think in general though, even if you are, have a higher density, it's not going to be much higher than water if it is higher than water, so you should be okay. Because then you can just counteract that like sinking by treading water or swimming. Just give Marie floaties and call it a day. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to learn to swim. Freya tried to help me float when we were young. Yeah, I will say, like, especially like if you're young, the first times being in water that you could possibly drown in is really scary too. If I hadn't spent so much time in the water as a kid, I would have definitely still been freaked out by that. Oh yeah, I was saying Marie might find this interesting. I was talking about my concussions earlier, and my first really bad concussion I got playing football. It was actually during practice. It wasn't even in a game. I was a wide receiver. We were doing hitting drills where I was supposed to catch the ball, and someone was supposed to come over and just shove you in the back so that you can practice catching the ball in a aggressive situation. And the guy that was in the drill with me did not listen to the instructions from the coach, and so after I caught the ball, he puts his face mask right in the back of my head. My head whips forward, and I got a pretty severe concussion. I also had a sprained neck. I had to wear a neck brace for a little bit too. But they told you not to watch TV or look at screens and stuff when you're recovering from a concussion. But I did anyway because I was very bored. I spent 2 months out of school because of this concussion. It was really bad. I don't even remember the next couple of weeks after it happened. But my little brother snuck me a device to watch Doctor Who on, and while my brain was fixing itself, apparently the Doctor Who episodes were so formative in that I kept accidentally slipping into British accents so often while I was recovering from the concussion. Marie, glub glub glub, me laughing. You're not underwater yet. I still haven't watched that. I liked it. Doctor Who is a fun show. There are definitely some parts of it that just are kind of eh. But for the most part, I think it's a really fun show, especially if you just take it at face value. My first total concussion was when I was a goalie and I blocked the soccer ball with my face. Ooh, yeah. Big rookie mistake there. You don't block with the face. Typically, you try to block with the hands. Entire face was running with blood, and it looked like yeah. Soccer balls hurt. Oh my god, I have been hit pretty much everywhere with soccer balls. It's a unique pain. Yeah. Honestly, there are times obviously the repeated hits of football are definitely worse on your body than soccer is. But I would rather be tackled again than take a soccer ball to the stomach, because that puts you down for at least 30 seconds. If it's really going, it'll knock the wind out of you. I remember there was one time I got hit in the stomach so hard with a soccer ball that I actually threw up. Kidney shot with a soccer ball. Yeah, it's awful. Oh. Gosh, now I'm just thinking about all the injuries that I had. I had a lot of bad injuries growing up. The concussions were probably the worst. I'll still get headaches today. So, yeah. Real freaked out about dying of CTE, but I can worry about that later. But I also, my father's calling me. That's weird. My dad does not usually do phone calls, especially not like, at least not without giving notice first. I'll call him when I'm done. Yeah, no. It's not like, if it were something serious, if it were something serious, he would be like texting me too. It'll be okay. Oh, but yeah, so I thought it was your OBS glitched. No. Although I wouldn't be surprised. I was having some issues with it earlier today. Are you sure it's not important? If it is important, he'll text me. Sometimes, so this will happen every couple of months where he'll just be like, "Oh, I need to." Yeah, he'll call again. Worst case scenario, but every couple of months he'll just be like, "Oh, I should talk to my kid." Yeah. Fathers are complicated. But so back to like injuries and stuff. I fractured a metatarsal doing track too. So I also used to run hurdles in track, and I caught my foot on one of the hurdles and basically snapped a metatarsal doing that. And it really sucked because I was really good at the hurdles. I ran the like 110 and 300 hurdles, and specifically in the 300 meter hurdles, I was consistently like winning my heats and getting some points for my team. But once I hurt that foot, I had to stop doing hurdles because it couldn't take the pressure, because after you go over the hurdle you have to slam your foot back down. And because I had a long enough gait, I was able to switch feet, my leading foot, over the hurdles, because I could do it in just 3 steps. And I couldn't run hurdles anymore because it's just too much pressure on the metatarsal. So I had to switch to running the 200 meter dash and the 400 meter dash. And I was okay at the 400, but I definitely wasn't as good as I was at the hurdles, which was unfortunate. Yeah. I've had really bad luck with this body. I don't know if I've mentioned this in like someone's chat or on stream before, but I actually spent my 21st birthday in the hospital waiting for surgery because I got appendicitis. And that's not even the only time that I have been like sick during my birthday and stuff. I had COVID one year, and that was really fun. So, yeah, I was like quarantined off in a room with COVID during my birthday, and my mom, like, so sweet, she made my favorite food for me to celebrate my birthday. She brings up the bowl. It was carbonara. I've mentioned this before. She gives me the bowl of it, and I remember I was like, I can't tell her that I won't be able to taste it. So I ate the food. I was very appreciative of the gesture, but I couldn't even taste the food. Oh, holy moly, you've been for the ringer. Yeah. I get injured a lot, or like sick a lot. I don't know what that's about. I got lucky and just did soccer and swimming, no broken bones or anything serious. Yeah, no, they shouldn't let people play football, or American football. That should just not be allowed. I remember my second concussion that I got, TBIs or not. Yeah, for real. My second concussion that I got was also in a practice. My second major concussion was also in a practice. After one of our games, the coach was like, "Y'all weren't hitting hard enough, so we're just gonna do full days of hitting drills." And so during that time, I was just constantly repetitive, hit after hit after hit, because at that point I was playing linebacker, and so there were 6 guys on the team that got concussions that day alone, because it was repetitive hits. It wasn't one specific hit that time like it was the first time. Wide receiver to a linebacker. I was still actually playing wide receiver at the time. So you played offensive and defensive positions on on my team there, so I was like, you know, mostly offensive player. I was first string, like, so the year of my first concussion, I was the first string split end. I was second string the year of my second one, but they moved me from defensive end to linebacker. And then I think they actually moved me back to defensive end for my defensive position. But I was not very good at defense. I only ever got one tackle. Yeah. I was definitely much better wide receiver than I was a defensive player. Then also because, like, you know, I've been 6'1" since I was 15. Yeah, that is it was rough though. What other injuries have I had? I've stabbed myself in the hand with a knife. But that wasn't like sports related or anything. That was just me being dumb. There's got to be like some other things that I'm forgetting. Oh, I fell off a cliff one time. Yeah, I fell off a cliff in the woods near where my little brother was playing baseball. And a like stick went into my leg. I still have the scar from it. And like as I was falling down, and I remember getting up and being like, oh, that was bad. I start walking and I notice like, oh, it hurts to walk. I look down at my leg and it's just fully red, like someone threw a bucket of paint on me. And yeah, and it was funny because like I wasn't even really like feeling pain or anything until I looked down and saw the blood, and that's when I started freaking out. I cannot look at my own blood. It freaks me out. Adrenaline is a wonderful thing. It really is. It really is. Because also with the when I fractured my metatarsal, I finished that race too. I just once I was like, you know, done with the race, I was like, oh, I can't walk right now. Yeah. But it's crazy what you can do with adrenaline pumping through you. Yeah. Sorry if talking about the injuries and stuff is making anyone uncomfortable. I know the mental image of a kid falling off a cliff and having a stick go through their leg isn't probably anyone's favorite. I'm always bleeding somewhere, so I'm very used to your own blood. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So the thing is, like, I also was bleeding a lot, and Ray's just cutting herself every time she cooks. Oh, yeah, okay. I have another injury. Skin condition. Oof. Yeah, I'm very glad that mine does not cause blood, because I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. It's just, you know, painful welts, which is manageable, you know? But so one time I was cooking a DiGiorno pizza, and while I was like, you know, cooking it, I was taking it out of the oven. I had the oven mitts on, but the oven mitt on my left hand started to slip off. And instead of sacrificing the pizza, because that's the important part, was making sure that I had that DiGiorno pizza. Instead of letting that fall, I shoved my forearm onto the side of the baking tray, and I got a burn across my forearm that stuck around for like 5 years. Yeah. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you have to be smart to be a scientist. I make very bad decisions regularly. I also touched the like face of an iron while it was turned on one time. Because I'm a genius. But yeah, I'm really sorry though about the like bleeding skin condition. That's gotta be rough. But at least you're, you know, used to the sight of your own blood, so you won't get freaked out if you ever like you're going to donate blood or anything. I still need to donate blood because I don't even know what my own blood type is, but I know that a lot of people in my family have type O blood. So I need to like check and see if I have type O, and I need to like start donating it if I do, because you know, people need that. Also, if any of y'all have type O blood, you should consider donating it, because there are some people that can only receive type O blood. They can't receive any other types, and they really need, like, the hospitals and you know, emergency medicine places really need as much as they can get. No, the messy part is skin everywhere, not the blood. Man, that's gotta be. Ooh, yeah. I'm sorry. I know you don't want to say like too much about like what it is, but is this like a constant thing, or is it something that like flares up every now and again? Because if it's constant, ooh, that's gotta be just so annoying. The medication has made it less everywhere. That's good. Oh my god. So I accidentally posted about this on my Twitter account for streaming, but I have some medication that I take like regularly that my insurance company decided I should just be paying twice as much for it. And that's been really frustrating because there's like withdrawal symptoms of this. So I can't just like quit it. Used to be constant. Medication made it better for the last 4 years. That's really good. I'm glad that there is, something to treat it. Hello, Pookies. Oh, hey, Sunbaked. How's it going? Welcome back. We got raided by Jupiter, so I've just been chatting with Maria and Raz for a little bit, talking about injuries. Chemical withdrawals are obviously the worst part. Yeah, for real. Like, after my insurance company was like, or not, I didn't even know from the insurance company. They didn't say anything to me. I went to the pharmacist, and they were like, "Oh no, you're not paying this much anymore. You're paying 2 times that much." And I was like looking up the withdrawal symptoms of it, and it was like like normal stuff like headaches, nausea, and stuff. But then one of them was seizures. Like, that's it. Like, if I can't just stop taking medication without getting seizures, then they shouldn't be able to just be like, "Oh yeah, no, the price is gonna change, and we're not gonna notify you like with any kind of advance notice." Yeah, they don't have a duty to disclose. That's insane to me. That's really insane to me. Especially with things that have like, withdrawal symptoms like that. But oh well. And I've only been on it for half a year, so maybe it won't be too bad. Speaking of said medication, I really need to take that. Skipped my Saturday dose, so I need to take as much as possible soon. That's really. Oh yeah, if you skipped a dose, you should definitely go take that. Oh, is this the one that like really hurts though? Oh, I'm really sorry. Does tapering help? Apparently, but the thing is, I don't have enough to taper. I have about half a month left, and apparently the tapering, you have to do it over a course of like 6 months, which, the injection. Ugh. Is there no other way for them to get you the medicine other than just an injection? Because, I don't like needles either. I really don't like needles. Don't scare me. You can do it. We're here for you. Exactly. Yeah, we're here for you. I wish, but unfortunately not. That sucks. What's all of that research money going into if they can't find like the least painful ways to give people medication? I knew a guy that had to get like steroid shots into his stomach like once a month when we were younger. He was actually someone that was on my soccer team. He was a really nice guy. His twin brother sucked. Oh yeah, so I probably would have kept playing soccer even longer than I did. I quit once I got to high school, but because of my birthday is like on a weird date, like it's like the cutoff date, I had to play with guys that were a year older than me, and so everyone on my teams were always, I was always the youngest person, and I got bullied for that. And in particular, this guy, the guy who's had to do the shots every month in his stomach, his twin brother was the worst. No, he wasn't the worst, but he was the worst that was like on the teams that I got onto. There was also another guy that always made it onto like the best teams in our soccer club, And I usually made it onto like, you know, the middle or the worst team because again, I was younger than everyone. But yeah, this other, oh my god, there was one tryout where not the guy whose twin brother it was, but the guy that was like the worst to me. We were doing tryouts and we were like, you know, splitting up into like doing scrimmages, and he was like, "Oh, Cal, you go play defense," and I was like, "I'm not a defender though. I'm a forward." And he's like, "It doesn't," and then he looks at me and said, "It doesn't matter. You're not even making the fucking team." I just, oh, that was awful. Oh, some meds can only work effectively with direct injection. Apparently stomach is less painful, but I only know how to do it in my leg because I never got the injection training. Oh, that's annoying. Do they not, like, so you have to do like special training for it? Because I remember I had to do special trainings to get, so that it wasn't like I didn't have to do the special trainings to get my EpiPen, but like I did do like special training to self-administer epinephrine, if I ever needed that. Yeah, it was a year younger than everyone. Honestly sucks because I was always working 10 times harder because exactly, yeah, because I was going out, and it also like just like because I was so young, the coaches also just kind of had the vibe that, you know, oh, he's the worst player on the team, so we're not going to put him in. So I was like almost never a starter either, even though I was one of the only people that could actually like curve penalty kicks. So I would always get put in if there was going into penalty shots. But there was one time where my coach, like he was a coach of my team and another team, and he liked the other team better, so he had someone else cover my team when we played against each other, and we were in like the state like finals tournament, or I think it was the semifinals. And we had this other guy coaching my team, and he was like, you know, more chill about it. So he put me in instead of having me on the bench. And I actually scored a goal in that game, and we beat my coach's other team. And he was so pissed he didn't put me in for the rest of the tournament. And we lost. And so I'm not saying it was because he didn't put me in, but I mean, like, I don't get put in, we lose, I get put in, we win. I mean, I think there's a clear pattern there. There was supposed to be training, but you know, I used to think it was mentally deficient because I had to work so much harder by the time playing it. Then college, I'm awesome. Yeah, college was great because like the older you get, the less age differences matter. Everything kind of like flattens out. I hope you get that training. Yeah, I hope so too. Clearly you need to collect another injury trophy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've been talking a lot. My voice is starting to go. Oh no. Oh, also, since I have people here, how does the background music sound? I can't really tell. Like, so I'm monitoring the background music right now, but to me, it just sounds kind of low. But if I do it high and then like record it, it sounds too high. I just don't know. Sounds good? Okay, cool. I'm good. Shoving a needle close to an organ feels much worse and dangerous since... that's true. Because you don't want to like accidentally puncture like your intestines or anything, because that is a really bad thing to do. It's perfectly mixed for my ears. What's the current decibel rating? I have the background music limited to 40 or minus 40 decibels, and my voice is limited to -5. So I don't know if that's like the proper ratio, but yeah. And you can see it easily on your like, yeah. I'm very thankful that I've never had to self-administer epinephrine, because I can't do needles. I can't look at it, and I know like myself, I would probably miss if I tried to because I wouldn't be looking. Oh, that reminds me of another. I had to go to the hospital for a sting from... I don't know if I can say the name of the bug, because I don't know if that'll... Well, half the people here know where I'm from anyway. Um, I'm going to check and see. If this is a like very regionally specific bug. Okay, I'll just say it's a type of wasp. I got stung by a type of wasp when I was, I think middle school-ish, and my face ballooned up so much that I looked like Rocky at the end of any Rocky movie. Like, I couldn't open up my left eye. It was so bad. And I had to go to the hospital because it wasn't like life-threatening because it wasn't like closing up my esophagus or anything, but I had to go to the hospital and get a bunch of, antihistamines, and I think they might have actually given me an injection of epinephrine when I got there, but I don't remember. But yeah, allergies are annoying. EpiPen is so much less painful, but your whole body goes pwee. I'm a weirdo that has vasovagal reflex to needles, but when you push comes to shove, I can administer whatever in the case. I don't know what vasovagal reflex is. Is that like a... I was trying to break it down into like the parts, but I don't think I knew what any of the parts of that word meant. Essentially fainting. Oh, ooh. Yeah, no. I'm very glad I don't faint at needles, but I definitely can't look at them as they're going into me. Yeah, but yeah, I have pretty severe allergies to like bugs. I've had to go to the hospital a few times for that. Yeah, blood drawing is rough for you too. Oof. Yeah, for me, I think the blood drawing, the worst part would actually be seeing that amount of my blood outside of my body. That would freak me out, as opposed to the needle. But both of those parts of it would not be fun. Yeah. Oh, I think I remembered another injury that I had, and I actually still have a scar from this one. I brought this up, I think, in either Marie or Jupiter's chat one time, that I got a scar from dancing. That sounds really rough. Have a severe bug allergy. Yeah, and I think the worst part is that it's like pretty much all bugs, too. Yeah, from dancing. So I'm gonna explain what I was doing. Okay, so this was in elementary school. I was really young when this happened, but there was like a party in my class, and this was in school. And I remember I was doing the worm. So like, you're flopping on the ground basically. And so I had like the kind of glasses that only had frames around the top of it, and it just had a wire on the bottom. And as I was doing it, my glasses fell out. One of the lenses popped out of it, and for some reason there was like some sharp part of it that caught my like eyebrow. So about where like like right at the edge of the eyebrow, like closest to the ear, so not the inside. What the twink dancing? All right, chat. We gotta atomize every bug. No, they're important parts of the ecosystem. That's seriously impressive. How this? Yeah. It's it's the stupidest scar I think anyone has ever had. But so to this day, it's covered up by my eyebrow for the most part. But I have a scar on my face from where the lens of the glass came back up and hit me. It was such a wide scar that I actually had to have my forehead glued shut. Like they had to like basically take it was not just like a hot glue gun, but it was like a medical hot glue gun, and like push the skin on my eyebrow back together and like glue it shut. And when the glue came off, it took the hair of my eyebrow with it. So for a while, I only had half of my left eyebrow. Like, so luckily it is probably my least visible scar though, because it's like underneath my eyebrow, but you still can definitely see it if you're looking for it. You have so many wounds. Yeah, I do. But it's actually funny. I can use this as like a litmus test for if someone is into me, because the only people that have noticed that I have this facial scar without me pointing it out to them are people that I later found out were, like, had a crush on me, and it's because they were like staring that intently at my face. Anyone else, like, if you're not like, you know, actively like analyzing my face, you're probably not going to notice the scar. Oh, I used to not have eyebrows for the longest time because I would always scratch them off. Ooh, that, like just by scratching your skin and they would come off. That's annoying. Yeah, people will compliment your features as a hint, and it wasn't even so much as like like that they're complimenting it. It's just the fact that they noticed it at all meant that they were staring at my face. Like, most people don't notice the scar, which I'm very thankful for. I was actually I think some of y'all have seen my friend Cisco on stream. Whenever like Cisco and I are like making characters in games, he always gives like his characters like, you know, facial scars, because he thinks like, oh, you know, adds more character to the person that you're role playing as, and I like never do. I'll, you know, give my characters unique features. I don't just go for like the bland like preset things, but I never end up giving them facial scars, even though I technically have one. And Cisco always gives his character's facial scars even though he doesn't have any, and I wonder, like, you know, like, is that me just probably being insecure about my own face that I don't do it? That sounds like it would be satisfying but also really annoying afterwards. Rip eyebrows. Mine were naturally blonde for a while. Ooh, yeah, those would be invisible. Not really, they were just kind of gone next time I knew it. Oh, hey, Joopy, welcome back. You missed a lot of stories about me injuring myself. Maybe I'll talk about them later at another time. But yeah, I am a very injury-prone person. The last one that I was talking about was probably the most embarrassing. Long story short, I have a scar on my face because I did the worm in 4th grade very badly. Like, about as badly as you could do it, I think. Like, if you end up with a, you know, scar out of it. And like, so yeah, this was in school too. And so when it happened, the teacher like had to send all of the other students out of the class because it was so horrifying. Because like my entire face was red from all the blood being on it. And so, yeah, the teacher had to send out all the other students. I lurk for a bit and always remember. All right. Pui. Worm, exactly. Yeah. And so, to this day, I do not dance frequently. I need to keep reading Witch Hat Atelier. I've gotten through the first few chapters of it. I'm really liking it so far. But I just haven't made the time to keep reading it. Sorry. There was a bug and I clapped. I got it, but I didn't think to like mute myself before I clapped next to the mic. I can't dance unless I'm really drunk. It's a nice try. Yeah. So I guess I should mention, like, alcohol, of course, will, you know, give me the confidence to do it. You're so glad you started Pui? Yeah, I really need to catch up on the thing. Favorite character in Witch Hat Atelier? Or Tillier? Oh my gosh, what's his name? Her name. I like the little girl that is teaching Coco while Witch Gojo is gone. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Hold on. I have to look this up or it's gonna bother me. Witch Gojo. So I was making a joke. So there's a character in Jujutsu Kaisen named Gojo Satoru, who has, you know, white hair and like has the, you know, blindfold on it. And I was making a joke that the teacher guy looks kind of like him in which Atelier. Let me see which Kifri. Kifri is which Gojo? Agate, I think, was the name of the character that I was talking about. The one that's mean to her at first. Yes, my cool older brother. Honestly, I think Kifri has more Raz vibes than Gojo does. Hold on, actually, let me see if I can. I don't want to. I'm just gonna drop the link in the chat rather than try to put this on the thing. Oh yeah, no, he's a really cool character. I really like Kifri. But yeah, I need to keep reading this. Maybe I'll do that tonight before I go to bed, rather than playing even more Fire Emblem. Kifri might be more Raz, but not really that Raz. I'm just talking appearance-wise, I think. Not necessarily like personality. I'm grateful I can't be easily wrapped up into a singular character. Yeah, no, I mean, no one can. No one can. So have any of y'all seen the show Parks and Recreation? There are two characters in that that Cisco and I always got compared to, like, by people. So Cisco and I were basically like conjoined at the hip for like a good portion of our life. And so people would compare us to Ben and Chris from Parks and Rec, where I was Ben Wyatt and he was Chris. Mostly because like Cisco's a very like optimistic, happy, outgoing person, and I can be kind of prickly, but I'm not mean. And so that's we got a lot of those comparisons. Let's see. So if we were to assign more anime characters to everyone, who would they be? Ooh. I don't know. Oh, that's a hard thing to do. That made me think that we need a Jupiter Marie emote now. Yeah. I'm trying to think. What characters would people be? That would be cute. It would be cute. I'm trying to think which anime character I'm most like, and yeah, the thing is, like, so I know, like, I've made an effort to be much friendlier with my interactions with people online since I started doing this. I can be kind of a little like tsundere sometimes, like in real life. So those are typically the kinds of characters that people compare me to. I've been trying to make it. I think I'm pretty friendly, you know, when interacting with people now, though, because I don't want to be seen as like, you know, oh, just a jerk. And it's not like even an intentional thing. I've just, yeah, you know, I have some social anxiety, right? I did. I think I've mostly gotten over it. Jupiter, I always assign people characters. I would be really interested to see what y'all think about, you know, me, Raz, DJ, like a lot of the people in your chat, like what characters you think we're like. I'm a golden retriever on and off stream, but that's because I genuinely love talking to people, but I totally get the Tsundere approach. I'm clearly Yamcha. Okay, so if you're Yamcha, I guess that would make me Tien. Um, yeah, and it's not even so much that like I'm trying to be tsundere. I don't even think I really am, but I think that's just how people see me a lot, like in real life. I like I don't know what the I okay, so people get like intimidated by me when they first meet me. It was a big thing like that when I was in undergrad, there was like a group of students younger than me. Like this is my junior year, there was a bunch of freshmen that um you know came came into the program, and apparently they got it into their head that I was scary because of one time I was working in our Society of Physics Students Lounge, and I was doing like quantum mechanics up on the board, and I was talking very curtly because I was so focused and stuff, and they thought I was going to be just kind of an ass. Like they thought I was going to be mean to them and be like, "Oh, how do you not understand this already? Like it's so obvious." And that's not me. I think just from the few interactions that y'all have had with me, you can probably tell. Like that's not what I'm like. And so, it took actually. There was one girl in particular in that grade or in that cohort that actually did get to know me, and it was because we had pretty similar experiences where neither of us were from the area that the school was in. We both had lost a grandparent right before we came, and there was someone that we were very close to, and so I was helping her through all of that, and luckily she was like I remember hearing that she was trying to convince the rest of her like class that no, I promise Cal's a really nice guy, he's not going to be mean to you, and eventually it did get all sorted out, and I even was there, I was like tutoring most of the class and physics and stuff by the end of that year. Like I would be in that lounge helping them learn classical mechanics. I actually taught most of them how to use LaTeX for writing up their homeworks and stuff. And so luckily that stereotype about me didn't stick around for too long. But that seems to be most people's general reactions when they first meet, because I don't have the friendliest face, I'll say. I don't look that approachable, I think. LaTeX, yeah. I wish someone had done that for me. Like when I had just come into college, actually sit down, hey, this is how LaTeX works. And here's all the things you can do with it. But no, it was mostly just me piecemealing it through the Stack Exchange forums on LaTeX, but I figured it out, so that was nice. So we know that Raz is Yamcha. Maria, what character do you think you are? I would be interested to see how people also perceive themselves in this. I'm trying to think what characters. The characters that I see a lot of myself in manga and anime that I watch are Yamcha is a character from Dragon Ball. That's not your serious answer. Well, so what is your serious answer? So the characters that I see a lot of myself in the manga and anime that I read are the best friend characters in romance stories. I see a lot of similarities in that. Yeah, it is a hard thing that to judge yourself, or self perception can be so different from how other people see you and from just how you are. I think a lot of people tend to be pretty harsh on themselves. And that's something that I think learned to do less of. Cause I used to be really negative about myself. I don't think, I think I've finally come to the point where I'm not going to be saying I'm a saint and I'm a genius or whatever, but I'm a pretty nice person. I am good at math, and I think the best thing I could say about myself is I think I'm a good teacher. And if I were to be any like positive thing, like say any like want any positive thing to be said about me, I think it's that I'm a good teacher. Because I think that's really like where my passions lie, is like educating people. And so I'm really happy that I feel comfortable saying that about myself. Jupiter put me as Rika, if I remember right. So what's Rika from? I don't know if I know Rika. I'm looking up. There's a lot of different Rikas. I can't think of any other character except for Rudius Grey Rat without extreme perversion. I don't think okay. Oh wait, hold on. I think I know. Rudius is from that isekai anime that was like 2 years ago. My little brother was trying to get me to watch that one, but I haven't seen it. My little brother watches Mushoku. Yeah, exactly. My little brother was trying to get me to watch that, and I still need to. I would forgive him for what he did to Sylphia. I won't forgive him what he did. I have no context for that, but I'm guessing he did something pretty bad. If there's no redemption in his future. Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of isekai. I don't really like isekai anime. The concept I find very interesting, but it's been done to death, and there's a common trend in isekai that I just don't love. So a lot of it's like when in Rome do as the Romans do, and so you have characters like with our world, with ostensibly our morals, going into these other worlds and doing just horrible things. Demon Slayer fan? Demon Slayer is amazing. I'm so sorry, guys. I think Demon Slayer's mid. I'm so sorry. I've given it so many shots. I've rewatched the first season multiple times. I can't do it. I don't like it. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad. It's my own stream. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It is beautifully animated. It's really well done, and I see why people like it. I don't know. It never clicked for me. If you call Demon Slayer animation bad, then you frankly can't enjoy. No. The animation is great. It's amazing, but I don't know. I never got into it. I think, I don't love the characters in it, and maybe that'll change if I watched more of it and saw some of the more of the characters. But yellow hair guy, awful. I liked the boar guy a little bit, but his shtick kind of wore through for me like pretty quickly. I think a lot of what bothered me was that the characters all seemed a little one note. I put Jupiter. With Jupiter, I put as Collei. Collei is from Genshin. Okay, I still haven't played Genshin. I need to. I love me some Rengoku. Okay, so I have seen like art of Rengoku and fan art of him. There's some artists that I really like that did multiple things about Rengoku, and so I can definitely see why he would be a favorite. Well, yeah, it's shonen. That's a good point. I found myself more and more reading oh my god, I'm blanking on the word. Shoujo, I think. Shoujo and josei, like manga more geared towards like women. And especially like I've been reading a lot of things that are like written by women. and I've been enjoying that. I actually think Demon Slayer was written by a woman, though. Yeah, I think so. I see your Rengoku and raise you a Tengen. Tengen, the dude who made harem scene. That's ooh. Okay, that's another thing. I do not like harem stuff. I was gonna swear, but I need to work on that. I don't like harem stuff in any kind of media. And like, you know, if polyamory is your thing, you know, more power to you. As long as everyone's consenting, go for it. I just don't like the vibes of it because it seems like a lot of harem stuff in like anime and manga isn't about like, you know, consensual non-monogamous relationships. It's about power fantasy, which just kind of ekes me out a little bit. It's not a harem. Well, maybe by definition, but still, he's literally married to all three of... I'm sorry, Sunbake, that's a harem. That's if he's married to 3 different women, that's a harem. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just, yeah, no, not my thing. I mean, it was either that or leave them to perish. So I think I've lost all context for what's going on there. If there was some reason that like, oh, he needed to marry all these women, then I get, yeah, go for it, dude. But I think still that like having that as a plot element in your show to begin with is just something that I don't love. I'm not gonna say like it's like, you know, morally bad or whatever. Like that's, I don't believe that. It's just not something that I like to see, you know? Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong, I just don't enjoy. Yeah, that's my exact feelings on that kind of stuff too. Like, as long as, you know, everyone's consenting and stuff, you know, 1, 2, like 5, 30, like however many people are in the relationship, that's fine. As long as everyone's consenting, I don't care. I just don't like it because it seems like it's something that's clearly designed to appeal to, like, you know, male power fantasy kind of stuff, which is just kind of boring, you know? I like how I should not have this on Coworking anymore, but this turned into a chatting stream. Oh my god, it's 10. I really lost track of time. Yeah. There's only one Hashira I specifically hate. So Hashira are like the, like, you know, that's that group of the Demon Slayers that were like supposedly the best and stuff, right? I think I remember seeing people refer to that. It's almost past your bedtime. It's probably getting close because I do have a meeting in the morning, and because I turned this into just chatting for the last half of it, I didn't get a ton of work done, but it's whatever. Like, I need to, you know, learn that my advisor does not put as much stress on me as I put on myself. He's not going to like start berating me for not getting everything I wanted to get done finished, which is really nice. I really like my advisor. He has been really like amazing. Always a pleasure to distract you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Hashira are cream of the crop. Yeah. Okay. The strongest Demon Slayer. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I know which ones you're talking. There's like, you know, the like color coded guys. There was like the big giant red guy and the yellow guy. I remember seeing art. Yeah. I'm curious what Marie and Jupiter put as who we appear to be as in anime characters. Yeah, I'd be interested to see like what people's perception of us are. I remember we did this with Pokemon for my like cohort. We like said, okay, what Pokemon is everyone? And I believe okay, this is me. Okay, before I say this, I want Jill to know that I found this hilarious and I am not offended by this in any way. But the Pokemon that I was compared to was Shedinja, because I am dead inside. We have to talk about it, yeah. Because my self-perception is I'm an idiot, but I try. I think everyone gets kind of like that, you know? I don't trust people that are constantly thinking, "Oh, I'm a genius." There are times where, like, you know, I do a calculation. I'm like, "Oh, my brain is rock hard. I have a rock hard brain." But I not constantly, you know. Classic bottom things. Oh, okay. What anime or game characters would you put us as? Oh man, oh my. Okay, let me think. Okay, this might just be me being, you know, so stuck in Fire Emblem. But so this isn't like I wouldn't say necessarily personality wise, but just vibes of like your design wise. Marie very much reminds me of Lysithea from Fire Emblem Three Houses. But yeah, I think that's more just like a design thing, because it's like the, you know, the straight across bangs, the white hair. Yeah, it's just a design thing. I don't think it's anything to do with personality, because she's kind of a brat, and I don't get brat vibes from you, Marie. She's also small, so if it's that is true. Yeah, she's so. Lysithea is definitely the smallest like unit in that game. Maria is definitely Nezuko. Huh. So I do know who Nezuko is because I have seen like the first season of Demon Slayer. Let me think. I don't know if I... The thing, like, Nezuko doesn't really have much of a personality to speak of. She's just kind of like, oh, I'm a demon, but I'm not evil. And like, I don't think Marie's evil, but yeah. You're small and precious while being independently strong in your own right, and you enjoy... Oh, you know what? I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I think that's a good... Evil Marie, yeah. No, with Marie's martial arts skills, I definitely don't want to see an evil Marie. But yeah, no, I think I can agree with Sunbakes. Yeah. But when angry, may the Lords have... You know what? That's also a good point. Because, like, you know, when you know, when Nezuko does decide that it's time to fight, she can throw down, yeah. Jupiter. I don't know. I think the thing is, like, it's so hard to compare like real people to characters, because real people, you know, have a lot more to them than, you know, a character that gets, you know, 30 minutes of screen time a week. And also, like, you know, there's so much about all of you, about, you know, Sunbake, Jupiter, Marie, Raz, all of, like, there's so much of y'all's lives that we just don't see of each other, except for, you know, Marie and Jupiter know about, but there's so much of each other's lives that we don't see. It's kind of hard to make those calls about, like, what, you know, people are like. I'm sorry. So maybe Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I could see that. You haven't watched Avatar? You should watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is really good. Katara is a strong, independent type. Yeah. I think it's easier if you narrow down, like, to like a specific, you know, piece of media that you're like drawing your characters from. So like people have said, you know, like, oh, what character are you in like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and people like play that game. I think I got like when my friends talked about this, I was Zuko, but like later seasons Zuko, not early Zuko. Cisco was Sokka. Yeah, like it's easy if you like narrow it down to that specific thing. These are all really bad guesses for me, but Hinata from Naruto and Jupiter Raftalia. If it's bad, I'm sorry. Okay, this is not anything like about what like drawing, saying like Raz is wrong or anything like that. Just bringing up Raftalia reminded me of why I kind of stopped watching isekai stuff. It was specifically the scene where Raftalia like wants that slave mark put back on her because she was happy being a slave to the main character. That's when I was like, okay, this is just weird. And that's what made me kind of like reevaluate my feelings on isekai just in general. Oh gosh, I missed some stuff. One second, let me scroll back up. She's a strong and independent woman who unfortunately puts a lot of pressure on herself, and in turn makes mistakes, but she's always has friends who help her. Yeah, I think that's a really good observation. Sunbaked, you're really good at this. Like coming up with characters for people. Okay, I'm not happy with either of those since it doesn't truly encapsulate it, but there's my stab. That was when I was obsessed with Danganronpa and wanted to assign you to a character. I liked Hinata. I also liked Hinata and Naruto. These are who? Hinata can be pretty accurate. She's strong, but preferred to stay quiet and reserved. But will fight fiercely and defend the ones that she loves. Okay, hold on a sec. This is a bad look. Hold on. Oh, is this when I was talking about Raftalia? Well, no. I get like there's a lot of other really good parts about Shield Hero. It's just that scene in particular really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's been a while since I watched Shield Hero. Yeah, and especially the second season was not very good, in my opinion. The reason I said Raftalia was because she is dedicated and to her cause, although really stressed out because of the MC being in charge instead of letting herself be in charge. Yeah. Then she goes through a metamorphosis and becomes better. Gotcha, okay. I try to make time for me to process, though. I haven't watched it super long time, but that was my read. I never watched Shield Hero. Yeah. I think like everyone's reasonings sounded really good though. It's definitely a tricky one. He's really smart, but always downplays himself, much to a larger degree. At first, I think Natsu, but he's actually just no. So I think the first thing that comes to mind when I think Raz is like helpful, you know, because Raz was helping me figure out stuff with VTube Studio. So yeah, in fact, I think Raz was the only person that knew that I had this model for sure before I even started today. But yeah, Raz is always like willing to give advice and just has been, you know, really helpful, like with like me learning how to stream and stuff, and watching the advice that he gives Marie also helped, and Jupiter. So I just want to say thank you to Raz. You've really helped like turn this into like me not knowing what I'm doing to me like knowing, you know, 20% of what I'm doing, and I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Raz respect, exactly. I really love Gray and Juvia in Fairy Tail. Literally would only watch episodes with those two in it. Raz gives me Isekai MC vibes. I'm trying to decide which one. Not a character, but Raz is the main character who goes around helping people. Yeah, I agree. I was really excited to see you play around with it. It looks really good. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I like that I could get as close to like the design I already had for Cal with just the preset options for that like customizable model. Not a harem one. I hate Rudius. Grey Rat for what he did to Sylvia. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what's like the most helpful characters. My favorite room. it's of all time is ruined because FJGIRJ got. Oh, is that just keyboard smashing? I don't know. I have one, but I forgot the name. Oh no. Let me think. I feel like I'm drawing blanks. Maybe I'll take some time to think about this and like put something on Twitter for what I think everyone is. From my side, I like seeing people rise and seek nothing in return. It has always been a positive thing, as long as I can rein it in and don't go too far. Yeah, you're a really like nice person, and like genuinely, because like I remember you responded pretty much immediately when I had like the questions about VTube Studio. I really appreciate that, man. Oh, hey, Michael, how's it going? Anyone had this before that you? Anyone had this before that you brought a sub on Twitch and not receive it within 4 hours with no confirmation email? I don't think that's happened to me. But then again, like I've mostly been gifted the subs that I do have. The only subs that I've outright bought were for Marie and Jupiter. The one that I had for Raz was gifted to me by Darkhood. Although I think they just ran out. So I need to check on that. Does this purchase show in your bank? Yes. If it's not showing up, you should definitely contact Twitch about that. They said it can take up to 5 days? I've never heard of that happening. Huh. I'm sorry to hear that. That's annoying. Yeah, that's really annoying. Sounds like a mess up. I think I agree. There's something not right there. All right, chat. What is Cal's counterpart in media? I do think like there's hold on. There's one character that I really like. It's not. There's no anime. Why do you think free? I don't think I'm that mean. Well, I'm not. Freeman's not mean, but she could be kind of cold. Am I that cold? Maybe it's the ears. I got the big floppy ears. I love how the ears flop around when I like shake my head. It's very fun. Not the elf, but the vibe too. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I definitely really like Freeran. I actually have a decent, which is Shinya. Oh, Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it. I love that show. I did. Honestly, I'll take it. Yukimura from Science Fell in Love. I will take that. That's a really fun show. It's really cute. Actually, you know, Jupiter, if you Freeran's not mean, IMOs, so don't worry. Oh, yeah, you're right. She's not mean. She's just cold, which that is something I've been accused of in the past. Freeran is just tired. I'm definitely been accused of that. But Jupiter, if you haven't seen the show that Raz just brought up, I think you'll find it really enjoyable. It's a cute romance, but it's also just interspersed with tiny science lessons too, which is really like very fun. The general plot of it is that, you know, I think they're mathematicians or maybe data scientists. They're two scientists, whatever, are trying to scientifically prove if they're in love with each other, and they like, you know, go on tangents about, you know, math problem. I think there's like one part where they like explain like the Monty Hall problem and stuff like that. It's really cute. Yeah, you definitely need to give it a watch. I personally thought it was super slow of a burn, but once it lights, it's good. Yeah, it's definitely like I mean, the very first episode starts with a confession, so it's not super slow. But you're right. It seems like the romance is also not like the focus entirely of the show. A lot of it also is just about talking about science, which I honestly, for me, was a drawing point. Like, I really enjoyed that. I finished watching it. I don't remember too much, but I did finish it. Yeah, well, so the thing is, like, there's not a ton of plot in it to begin with. A lot of it is just them making just references to science, which I found fun. But yeah, the plot doesn't have too much going on. Haru Hiro's Wikipedia page. Who is Haru Hiro? I think comparing someone as being Boruto is like solid fisticuffs. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, if we're talking like just like Naruto characters, I could see Raz as kind of like an okay, so this really depends on how you feel about this character, but I do get like a lot of like Asuma vibes just because of like, you know, he was a very like, you know, helpful person, really looked after like the, you know, the students that he was teaching. But I know that he's a pretty, like, a lot of people just don't like Asuma because he doesn't do a ton. Asuma, but oh, okay, yeah, if you like Asuma, then yeah, I get Asuma vibes from you, for sure. Yeah, it's difficult like keeping track of all the characters that I know as well. Like, I'm sure there are characters from a bunch of different things that I could come up with, but the instant that someone's like, oh, like, can you think of a character that like has these traits and stuff, my brain just immediately goes blank. Then when you're asked, yeah, exactly. The same thing happens like in science too, where like I'll get a question that I'm not expecting from a student, or worse, if I'm doing like a research thing and I get a question that I'm not expecting, and like it's crickets, like nothing's going on up there. Like, this happened like during my like candidacy. Like I gave a seminar, like a 45-minute seminar about a year ago. Actually, almost exactly a year ago. I think it was late October when I did it. And I got a, I can't say the question because it's too related to what I do. But I got a question that I knew the answer to like 100%. Like, if you had given me just like a second, like not standing in front of my entire thesis committee to like think about the question and answer it, I would have been able to answer it perfectly. But I just kind of like stood there like, and I came up with like some like half-assed answer, and I'm still frustrated about that today. I still think about that, and it was like a year ago. Oh. My friend was asked a question during her proposal, a simple one, but it caught her off guard, and she was so confused. Oh yeah, it's so rough. My friend, who's also like, he's in my research group, he did his so you call them proposals, we call them candidacy seminars. He did his candidacy seminar as the high energy physics seminar for our entire department, so he like invited the entire department to come to it, and I did not have the courage for that. But he was getting some insane questions from people that like he should not have been expected to be like have answers to. It was something there was one part of his research that involved like minimizing some function to place a bound on something else, like some coefficient, blah, blah, blah. And some guy in the back started talking about the convexity of the problem. And like, these are perturbative parameters. Everything's linearized. Of course, it's going to be convex. Like, but he was like, you know, like trying to be like sound so smart by bringing up all these terms, being like, oh, but is it even valid mathematically to try to optimize this? And yes, because we work in an effective quantum field theory where everything is perturbative expansions upon the standard model. Like it just frustrated me because like he couldn't think of the answer like right off the top of his head, but the answer like wasn't a good one. I hate people who try to be smart. Yeah, it's so annoying. Like the point of like presentations are for you to learn what other people are doing, not for you to prove that you're smarter than the person giving the presentation. And it like frustrates me to no end when people like look for any excuse to be like you just show off that like, oh, I know what this means. I find the most intelligent ones speak with ease. Exactly. Yes. Oh my gosh. I've run into this issue with like other people that I've taught with. They're like trying to be so like precise with their wording and like, oh, you have to be like the perfect mathematical terminology when describing these things, and that's not how you teach like undergrads, especially undergrads that aren't even physics majors, how to do physics. And yeah. Oh, oh, wait, hold on. I missed a lot of the chat. Kind of off topic, and you probably don't know this, but the character I look up to the most is Vil from Twisted Wonderland. I don't know what Twisted Wonderland is. Oh, he looks cool. I'll need to check out that character too then. I'm afraid that Twitch is going to fix it because the Nitro Boost Event Plus for my first bot sub is a great game. Yeah, I'm really sorry, Michael. I hope that gets fixed, like, you know, as soon as possible. It's hard to pin down. I think Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I find most of, yeah. Good luck. Thanks. Onomatopoeia. Yeah. I once sat down and watched a lecture about black holes, and it was explained in such a clear and concise manner that I think I was an utter idiot for not thinking of it. I mean, that's the best like explanations in science are the ones that make you feel as if you could have come up with it yourself. And that's a lot of the reason why I love teaching optics, or not geometric optics, but like interference and stuff, because if I explain like the base concepts to someone, I think a lot of them like could put together like Snell's law and stuff themselves. I think if you just kind of try to think logically about it, you can find a lot of like, it feels very natural, the results that you get in a lot of like diffraction and stuff like that. The beauty of simplicity and explanation is such an art form. Yeah. There is like the unfortunate downside where like things can often be oversimplified. You have a love-hate relationship with Snell's law. Yeah, I get that. In undergrad, in my waves and oscillations course, there was one exam where the problem was, in any way that we saw fit, we had to derive Snell's law from first principles, which was a fun question, but it took most of the exam. So I was saying, like things can be oversimplified to the point where it's actively like confusing people. And so you see this a lot with like physicists' explanations of things leading to misconceptions about them. So I think quantum superposition is one that I think really gets explained poorly. People think like, oh, thanks for the raid, DJ. My automated shoutouts are a little busted, so let me give you a shout out real quick. Shout out DJ Richard. Is it 21? Richard, yeah, 21. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so like quantum superposition is one that gets poorly explained all the time. Are you using Mixit Up for auto shoutouts? No, I'm using StreamerBot. I think I know what the issue is. I think it's a syntax issue. In the command that I have running it, I can fix that later. You heading out, Night Michael? But so yes, I was talking about a quantum superposition. it often gets explained as like, oh, you can have a particle that's in two states at once, which, I mean, you can describe it that way, but it's still in one state. It's just that that state can be described as a linear combination of two different states. The best way to think of it is like vectors, you know? So I could say like, oh, I have, you know, one vector that points, you know, north and one that points east. You could also say like there's a vector that points northeast, and northeast is just its own direction. It's not the combination of two directions, even though that it can be described as that way. So if something's moving northeast, it's not moving two directions at once. It's just moving in a way that can be described by moving north and moving east simultaneously. So to say that, like, you know, something's in two states at once, I think is a little bit of misinformation. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Jupiter. I hate that description. Yeah, I hate it too. It's really bad. Sounds like the hellish equivalent of a wave in particle. Oh, I don't believe in particles. This is probably my hottest take, and on physics, and it's because it's not even really settled with anything. It gets down to your interpretation of quantum mechanics. Wait, as in they don't? Yeah, no, I don't think particles exist. I subscribe, I guess, because I wouldn't say believe, but I subscribe to the Everett interpretation of quantum mechanics. I don't like the term many worlds. Many worlds implies something that I don't believe is true. Wait, because I had a similar childhood life that Naruto received by the villagers, but eventually I found... Oh yeah, I remember you talking about stuff like that before, DJ. I'm glad you things are looking better though. I hate many worlds theory too. It's more... No. I subscribe to the quote-unquote many worlds theory or interpretation of quantum mechanics. I just don't like the term many worlds because it implies something that I don't think the interpretation implies. So many worlds, like you think like, okay, there's like parallel universes, blah, 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 whatever. All many worlds states, all Everett's interpretation states is that the wave function is the fundamental like component of nature. So it takes the wave function as a real thing that exists, and all that we do, all the measurements that we make, rather than collapsing the wave function like in the Copenhagen interpretation, all we're doing is just entangling ourselves with one particular state in that wave function. And so there are no particles, there's the wave function, and then there is discrete measurements that we get from the wave function that occur when we entangle ourselves with the rest of the wave, like the rest of like the wave function. And because, you know, it gets the phrase, like the term many worlds gets applied to it, people think like, oh, it means parallel universes and stuff. And we're like in a certain way of looking at it, sure, but it's not like, you know, a bunch of separate like universes that are completely disconnected from each other. It is still just one wave function. It's just that, you know, like wave function that we already observe, like we see linear combinations of state and we see entangled states. There's nothing new that is applied to Everett's interpretation. In fact, Everett's interpretation makes the least assumptions out of any interpretation of quantum mechanics. And you kind of have to believe in Everett's interpretation if you accept like Copenhagen or Bohmian mechanics. But all of those, they add on extra things on top of it to like make people feel more comfortable with it. Like all of it is just like because people are uncomfortable with the idea that the real fundamental like component of nature is the wave function. So they want particles to be there. They want to add them in some way, and they do that either by, you know, saying that the wave function is a pilot wave guiding particles, or they say that there's some wave function collapse. And both of those are, you're adding in extra assumptions that don't have any founding. So that's why I prefer the quote-unquote many worlds. Sorry for the rant. That is something that I've thought a lot about, and it's very frustrating to me that so many people misunderstand what many worlds is really saying. But yeah, I don't believe in particles, I guess. I just believe in fields. All right, let me see what I missed. Da, 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 da. I mean, technically, that's right. Everything can be described as a wave. Yeah, exactly. And all that Many Worlds is saying is that you don't need to add anything else. Da, da. We were talking about what characters, yeah. But do you think particles are just modified / changed waves? I think what we call particles are an artifact of ourselves. You know, like quantum mechanics still applies to us. It's just that there's a lot of decoherence because we are the composite of many, many, many particles, or many, many different states, or excitations of the field, I guess I'll say. Excitations of your quantum field. And yeah, we ourselves entangle with the rest of the wave function, and that's what a measurement is. That's what we describe as a particle. Okay. Hinata, Nezuka, okay. And there's also the fact that there is a lot of rejection or acceptance based purely on what people want to be. Exactly. That's why Copenhagen is, like, interpretation is the most common, is because that's what people are the most comfortable with. But that's not a reason to accept something. What would you put me as? I don't know enough about you to give a specific character. Sorry. No, I can't think of anything but Naruto. All right, I think I caught up with chat finally. But yeah, sorry for the long spiel about quantum mechanics. But yeah, quantum mechanics is. Oh my god, it's 10:43. Oh my gosh. Okay, I definitely need to go to bed. You're actually the first person I've met that believes in Everett's many worlds theory. I personally only believe in world alpha existing and everything else is merely logic like math used to explain and understand the. I mean, if you want to assume that, but so you have to take on the idea of what happens to the rest of the states in the wave function. So wave functions exist. We know, or well, quantum fields exist. I'll say that. There are things that are described by quantum fields exist. And when things get entangled, you can only observe one specific state in that quantum superposition. And you have to think about what's happening to the rest of that. If you want Copenhagen, if you want Bohemian mechanics, you have to say that, okay, no, there is something special about my specific branch of the wave function. The rest of them, they collapse, or they're not affecting the dynamics of the particles anymore. But that's making another assumption. You're putting something else on. You're putting something else on top of what we already know to be true that has no empirical evidence. Whereas if you want to just take quantum mechanics or quantum field theory or whatever, any quantum theory, and not assume anything else, you kind of have to like take all of the implications of the many worlds theory and just like you just kind of have to take that as part of it. Or like you can't get quantum superposition, you can't get quantum entanglement without at least some aspects of the many worlds interpretation being correct. All I'm saying is no one gave me now I need to go read about the many worlds. I'm so sorry, Murray. I feel like a lot of physicists actually believe in many worlds. Yeah, a lot of them do. Don't, you'll be dragged in. Somebody said, is this one of Jupiter's friends from her undergrad physics class? You get a person and a character. I hope that's good. Keep in mind, layman opinion, but the results won't change or be changed whether the world 2, 3, or 4 exists. However, I'm rusty as hell. Well, also, you shouldn't think of it as like discrete separate worlds, because it's not like, okay, there's this universe and then there's this other universe. It's all one wave function still. It's just that we're specifically entangled with certain states in that wave function that we're then no longer able to interact with other states of it. It's not that there's a universe 2 out there. That's not what the many worlds theory states. And it's that interpretation that like there's a world 2, 3, 4 that a lot of people are uncomfortable with, that I think is what gives people like discomfort with like Everett's interpretation. Assuming quantum mechanics has progressed to the point where it's polarizing in whether you believe in many worlds theory. Yeah, so the thing is, like, a lot of people just don't think about it too hard, and they just like default to what they were taught in school, which is probably Copenhagen interpretation. I mean, that's what my teachers taught me, and they don't think about it any farther past that. I'm a person, a real boy. So like a location in a cloth? I'm not. That's not a bad metaphor. I need to think about. So that's another. I don't really love metaphors about physics because they can give you like well, it's good for understanding certain things. When you try to extrapolate metaphors, you often run into issues. That's why I don't like describing, like space-time as like a cloth and the masses bend it and stuff like that, where like that can lead you to some bad extrapolations of that metaphor. Particularly around like gravitational waves. Sorry. Yeah. I think my issue is that express discomfort with worlds 2, 3, etc. However, I can't properly. Well, yeah, if that's your discomfort, then I have good news for you. There are no worlds 2 or 3, etc. It's all still just one wave function. I mean, an overlap in threads in a cloth. Yeah, that is a good way to think of it. I don't know how much more I can like explain about this without like actually busting out my OneNote notebook and like start drawing. And it's definitely too late for that. I am free. There are no strings on me. I have some bad news. You can describe nucleons as strings of gluons with quarks at the end. So actually, there are a lot of strings in you. Pretty much every nucleus in your body, there are strings of gluons in you. So sorry. Because I don't want to refuse truth in favor of consistency, but also I think I haven't found an argument that posits a high level of credence that we need worlds 2, 3, etc. Yeah, no, we don't. We don't need worlds 2, 3. Yeah. Again, just one wave function. I never wanted to be hit in the back of the head with a textbook so bad. Yeah, interpretations of quantum mechanics are a good way to drive yourself insane. You fools have given flesh to a creation of desire and hunger. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would definitely go into reading about all the different interpretations. It's really interesting. I remember there was one guy who was so set on pilot wave theory, Bohmian mechanics. And that's the idea that like the wave functions are actually like just guiding physical particles that are real things. And he was like so into it and trying to explain like, oh, it explains this, this, and this, and this, and this. And I was like, okay, and how does it deal with particle decays? Because and particle number isn't conserved in that case. And so you have to have like some way for these particles in your pilot wave theory to split into it. Whereas you don't if you're just assuming that the real thing is the quantum fields. Because the quantum field, they interact with it. You can, have an excitation in your field be caused by the interaction, like the coupling with another quantum field. And so, yeah, he got very upset that like, oh, he didn't think about that. Anime Quantum Mechanics new model debut. Damn, I appreciate it. I definitely got off topic. I did some co-working with Sunbaked while when I first started. Yeah, I think I got 2 Pomodoro sessions in before I started talking about everything. I should have changed the title of the stream and the subject, but oh well. I'm somewhat of a physicist myself. Yeah, that's right. I've read 3.5 Reddit articles. I started drawing my model instead of reading. Hey, I mean, do whatever you gotta do. You don't have to constantly be working. That's a good way to burn yourself out. Speaking of, I definitely need to go and hit the hay. So does anyone have any recommendations for who we should raid out to? Let me check who I know is live. Let's do... Does anyone have any suggestions? Thank you for the stream. I appreciate bantering with the... No, hey, not at all. You definitely thought about this more than most people, and that's really fun. I would be very happy to continue talking about this at some point. I love talking about physics. It's quite literally my favorite thing to do. So, thank you. Have I rated I have rated Tychero before, but I think it's been a minute, so maybe I'll do that. Lecture stream? Yeah, I would love to do lecture streams. Oh, you know what? I haven't done Corpse before, so why don't I raid her? Yeah, let's do that. All right, thank you all for coming, everyone. I had a really good time. This was really fun talking about, you know, physics and anime and how many times I've injured myself. All right, let's get this raid started. You want to learn more? Yeah, I would love to talk more about physics or just anything science related. Curiosity is how they get you. Exactly. Well, again, thank you all, and I hope you all have a good night. Oh, raid message. Yeah, I think I meant to do that. I think I was just going to do like the Cal Thunderbolt thing that you mentioned last time. So like something like that. So yeah, let's maybe just do that. Maybe I'll add some emojis into it later. But we'll do that for right now. All right. Thank you all.